Welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolina, aka Lady Butterfly, and I am back. Last Sunday I was coming out of the book of 2 Kings 5:14, talking about Naaman and how he had leprosy and he wanted to get healing, and he had to be obedient to do it God's way to get healing. God had told the prophet Elijah to tell Naaman to go and dip himself 7 times in the Jordan River, and then he would be healed. So he did it and he got healed. It's like his obedience got him healed. He tried to buy his healing, though. That's what he tried to do. He thought that because he had this power, that he was a king, or, that he could just purchase his healing, but he couldn't. He had to humble himself. He had to be obedient, and he had to do it God's way. He wanted a quick fix. He wanted the prophet Elijah to just touch him and be like, oh, you are healed. Most of us want a quick fix. I know I did. I want a quick fix too. I wanted God to just touch me and I was healed. Now, I remind you, I talked about how when I was on crack, how God had showed up and he just instantly lifted obsession and compulsion to smoke crack. However, crack was just part of my problem. It wasn't the true problem. I had so much unresolved anger, unresolved sadness on the inside of me. I had so much pain, unresolved pain buried on the inside of me, and I had to do it God's way. I wanted God to just touch me and say, Carolina, you are healed. That's what I wanted him to do. Could he have done it that way if he chose to? Yes, he could have. I believe he could have, because he's God. No, he didn't want to do it that way. He wanted me to be obedient like Naaman. He wanted me to go and he told me to go into the meeting, go into a 12-step program, go to this program and talk about my father. That was something I did not want to do, you guys. I did not want to do that. First of all, I didn't even know why he was telling me to do that. I really didn't. I knew that my dad wasn't in my life, and I knew that I always wanted my father in my life. But now I'm a big girl. I'm grown. I wasn't thinking about none of that. I wasn't thinking like, oh, I thought, my dad did the best he could do. I forgave him and I moved on. But no, God was like, no, you got so much stuff buried on the inside of you that needs to come out. And it was a process. Once God revealed that to me, he showed it to me in a dream that, that I hated my dad. That's how much denial I was in. I was in so much denial I didn't even realize it. However, once he started showing me and he told me what to do, and I went into the program and I started talking about my father, I was crying like a little girl, like a 2-year-old little girl, crying, talking about what I wanted from my dad. Sometimes I didn't even know what to say. I had to go to God and say, what should I say? And God was like, talk about what you wanted that you did not get. And I was talking about how I wanted my dad, I wanted to be daddy's little girl. I wanted him to hold my hand. I wanted him to pick me up. I wanted to get hugs from him, but I didn't get none of that from my dad because my dad was a rageaholic. I didn't get none of that. And he was not in my life like that. He just didn't have that to give. And I remember, I would always say, but my dad did the best he could do. And God told me to stop saying that. I didn't realize I was putting the cart in front of the horse. He said, tell the story from a child's perspective, because when a lot of stuff had took place, it happened when I was a child. So a child not going to sit there and be like, oh, a 5-year-old don't be saying, oh, my dad doing the best he can do. No, a 5-year-old don't do that because a 5-year-old don't know that. So once I came out of hiding and I allowed my inner child out and I allowed my inner child to tell the story the way it happened when she was that child, I got so much freedom, y'all. So much freedom. And I'm so, so grateful. I didn't realize how much trauma I was in. And that's just that's just a tip of the iceberg of my story. But as time went on, it's like I was just unpacking all of this unresolved pain, unresolved anger, which every time the pot would get stirred, I had to serve it up. I had to feel so I could heal. I had to, because my feelings were numb. I had stuffed so much and just kept stuffing till my feelings were numb. But now, I got a relationship with God, and I got to do what God say do if I want to get some freedom. It seemed like God would knock on my heart, and he was like, how free do you want to be, Carolina? How free do you want to be? Do you want to be free from just crack, or do you want to be free from what drove you to crack? And I say, God, I'm willing. I surrender. I'm willing to do whatever you tell me to do to get freedom. More about my story on the next Sunday. Thanks for listening. Thanks for allowing.